Wichita has a new date for opening its new winter shelter, Friday night, 7 o'clock. Today, the city giving us a chance to look around the facility. 12 News reporter Cale Chapman was there behind the scenes and talked with Humankind staff about why the shelter is opening early.
Wichita's new winter shelter is opening ahead of schedule this Friday.
I'm feeling really confident. The space is not going to be exactly like what we wanted it or needed it, but we're going to continue to move forward to create that space.
The shelter was originally set to open December 2nd, but because of incoming winter weather, Humankind made the decision to open early.
It's more important for us that individuals are safe from the cold weather conditions outside and they have a safe place to go.
The shelter has enough beds for 266 people, with meals being provided by different community organizations. There's a medical room, multiple sleeping areas with bunk beds, and a heated shower trailer that's been brought in. All of it brought together in the last week.
Last Friday at 11 a.m. we received the keys to the building to where we could start moving things in. We have moved mountains since even just last Friday.
And once the shelter is up and running, Humankind hopes to address more than just homelessness with partnerships in the community.
We are experts at serving those that are experiencing homelessness and helping individuals become housed. We are not experts in mental wellness, in substance use, and so we have to have those collaborating agencies there to help support those individuals that we're serving. If we don't have that, it's going to become a cyclical cycle.
In Wichita, Cale Chapman, 12 News.
The shelter only allows people ages 18 and older. Construction on the multi-agency center housed within the shelter is still ongoing. It's estimated that part of the facility will not be completed for at least another year.